Hello friends, welcome to Reading with Miss Sudi. Today I have a very touching read for you and it is titled The Skinny Brown Dog. It's written by Kimberly Willis Holt, illustrated by Donald Saff. Benny the baker leads a simple life. He makes delicious cakes, cookies, and muffins and keeps his customers well fed and happy. When a skinny brown dog shows up on Benny's doorstep, nothing Benny says can convince him to go away. While Benny insists that the dog is not his, customers soon grow as fond of the skinny dog as they are of Benny's yummy treats. The children even name him Brownie, the perfect name for a baker's dog. Benny starts to wonder what it might be like to have a dog of his own. But it's not until Brownie comes to the rescue that Benny realizes a dog can make a good friend. So let's get started. Skinny Brown Dog, written by Kimberly Willis Holt, illustrated by Donald Saff. Every day, long before the sun came up, Benny the baker walked 2 doors down to his bakery on Harmony Street. He mixed the dough and made bread, cakes, cookies, muffins, and brownies. Miss Patterson especially liked Benny's raspberry muffins and stopped by each afternoon at 2 o'clock to buy one. Whenever a cookie broke, Benny placed the pieces into a box. Once a week, he hung a sign in his window, "Free Broken Cookie Day." After school, children hurried to the bakery to see if the sign was posted. If it was, they stopped in for a treat. If not, they waved at Benny and headed home. Benny looked forward to Free Broken Cookie Day as much as the children. One afternoon, a skinny brown dog wandered into Benny's bakery. "Sorry, but dogs aren't allowed in my bakery," Benny said as he led the dog outside with a warm piece of pumpernickel bread. He does look thirsty, Benny thought, so he gave the dog a bowl of fresh water. That night, when Benny closed the bakery, he found the skinny brown dog still sitting outside his door. The dog stood and wagged his tail when he saw Benny. He started to follow Benny home, so Benny stopped walking. "Hate to break the news to you, fella, but you're not my dog." Somehow, the dog seemed to understand, and his tail pointed to the ground as he watched Benny walk away. Benny ate dinner, then sat in his chair and read the newspaper. He looked down at the little rug in front of the fireplace. It was big enough for a dog. "No," thought Benny, "I don't need a dog." The next morning, the skinny brown dog was sleeping outside the bakery. He awoke when he heard Benny unlock the door. The dog stood and wagged his tail, then started to walk inside. "Sorry, but a bakery isn't any place for a dog," Benny said again. Benny gave him a thick slice of wheat bread with butter and some water. It was then that he noticed the small white spot on the dog's left ear. At 2 o'clock, Miss Patterson arrived for her raspberry muffin. The dog stood and wagged his tail. Miss Patterson dropped her purse. When the dog picked it up for her, Miss Patterson stroked the dog's head. "You have a smart dog," she told Benny, "even if he is a little skinny." "He's not my dog," Benny said. "Yes," she said, "I can see that." When the dog was at the bakery door the next morning, Benny shook his head, then noticed the dog's eyes. They were dark as chocolate chips. This time, Benny gave him a bone and a little meat on it. The children came by the bakery every day now, even when it wasn't Free Broken Cookie Day. They played with the skinny brown dog and taught him to walk on his hind legs. When the children sang song, the dog aimed his nose toward the sky and tried to sing too. Benny liked having the children around more often. "What's your dog's name?" Sam asked. "He's not my dog," Benny said as he slipped the dog a broken gingerbread cookie. "I think his name should be Brownie," said Pete. The other children agreed that Brownie was a perfect name for a skinny brown dog that ate and slept at Benny's bakery. When Miss Patterson stopped at the bakery for her raspberry muffin, she patted Brownie's head and told Benny, "You have a good dog." "He's not my dog," Benny told her every day. And every day Miss Patterson said, "Yes, I can see that." That evening, Benny turned off the bakery light, locked the door and went home. He wouldn't look at Brownie as he walked away, but Brownie watched Benny until he disappeared. Benny cooked dinner and read the paper and tried not to notice the empty spot on the rug. The next day, when it was too early for the children and even for Miss Patterson, Benny climbed a ladder to the very top and reached for a new bag of sugar. On the way down, his foot missed a rung and he fell to the floor with a big crash. Brownie came to the door right away, but he wouldn't step inside because he knew Benny didn't allow him in the bakery. "Help!" Benny yelled. "Help me, Brownie!" Brownie ran up and down the street barking. People walked by, but no one stopped except Miss Patterson, who was on her way to buy her raspberry muffin. "What's wrong, Brownie?" she asked. Brownie tugged at her dress, pulling her toward the bakery. When she stepped inside, Miss Patterson saw what was wrong. She rushed over to Benny and called an ambulance. Soon the paramedics arrived. "It looks like you broke your leg," said one. "It's a bad break," said the other. "You'll probably have to stay at the hospital a few days." As they carried him to the ambulance, Benny asked Miss Patterson, "Who will take care of Brownie?" "Don't worry," Miss Patterson said. "I'll watch him." Benny had to stay in the hospital for a week. The first day, Miss Patterson and the children came to visit after school. Benny was happy to see them, but he asked, "How is Brownie?" So the next day, the children called Benny's name from outside his hospital window. Benny smiled when he saw Brownie. Brownie wagged his tail when he saw Benny. "Can't they come inside my room?" Benny asked the nurse. "The children may," she said, "but a hospital is no place for a dog." "I don't see the harm in letting in one skinny brown dog," mumbled Benny. "I'm sorry," said the nurse. "Hospital rules." When she saw Brownie twirl on his hind legs, she added, "Smart dog, though." Benny waved out the window and noticed for the first time that Brownie wasn't that skinny anymore. The children began to sing a song. Brownie joined in. "You're a good fella, Brownie," Benny said as the children walked away with the not so skinny brown dog that had no home but ate and slept at Benny's bakery. All week, the children returned. Sometimes Miss Patterson came too. "I sure miss your raspberry muffins," she told Benny. "We miss Free Broken Cookie Day," said the children. "I miss the bakery," said Benny, "especially Brownie." Finally, Saturday arrived and Benny went home. This time, Brownie did too. Benny and Brownie's bakery. Everyone, welcome. And that's the end. So this fiction teaches us about kindness, love, relationship building. It also shows us that everybody is capable of helping out if they want to. It teaches us loyalty towards a relationship. I enjoyed reading this very tender and touching relationship building story with you. Hope you learned a lesson or two, just like I did. See you again, I promise, with more fantastic reads. Until then, see ya.